kingdom of Dahomey emerged in the early 17th century, nestled between the powerful Oyo Empire to the north and the coastal kingdom of Houegbadja to the south. Its founding is credited to King Houegbadja, who ruled from around 1645 to 1685.
Warriors of Dahomey, your strength is the shield of our kingdom. Prepare for what lies ahead.
It was Houegbadja who first instituted the presence of women as palace guards. They were loyal, disciplined, and sworn to protect the king at all costs. Not yet soldiers, but the seed had been planted. Among the Fon people, women were never weak. They were priestesses, farmers, market leaders, spiritual anchors of the community. Female deities like Omalicha represented balance and creation. This cultural backdrop made it possible for women to rise, not just in homes or shrines, but on battlefields. By the early 1700s, under King Agadja's rule, Dahomey expanded aggressively. Facing threats from Houegbadja and Oyo, Agadja needed warriors. And he turned to women.
Warriors of Dahomey, your strength is the shield of our kingdom. Prepare for what lies ahead.
They were fierce, loyal, and underestimated by enemy forces. These women began accompanying armies on raids, serving as scouts, assassins, and bodyguards. Over time, they grew into a formal military corps. The world would soon know them as the Namitan, our mothers. They proved themselves in battle, brave beyond measure, swift in execution. The Amazons of Dahomey didn't merely fight like men. They fought with a calculated fury that terrified even veteran warriors. Their victories helped secure Dahomey's rise as a regional power. European traders began recording tales of female warriors of the king, amazed at their discipline, their ruthlessness, and their command of the blade. By the mid-1700s, the stage was set. What began as guards in the shadows of the royal palace had become the backbone of Dahomey's future military glory. But greater challenges and bloodier battles lay ahead. They were not myths. They were mothers, daughters, warriors, and their story was just beginning. By the dawn of the 19th century, Dahomey had sharpened its sword, and that sword had taken the shape of a woman. In 1818, a new king ascended the throne of Dahomey Gizo. Bold, calculating, and determined to elevate his kingdom to supremacy, Gizo would forever change the course of African military history. He inherited a military force of both men and women, but it was Gizo who transformed the female regiment into a fully institutionalized elite corps, feared across West Africa, admired by Europeans, and loyal to death. They lived apart from society, sworn to celibacy, forbidden to marry or bear children. Their only bond was to the king, their only joy victory. From the age of adolescence, they were trained to kill without mercy. Their training was brutal. Hand-to-hand combat, wall climbing with thorns tied to arms, execution of prisoners without hesitation. Pain was not punishment, it was preparation. Gizo's Dahomey was a war economy. Power flowed from conquest, and profit from captives. The Amazons became the spearhead of these campaigns, sent to raid rival kingdoms, capture prisoners, and bring glory home. Every village burned meant a stronger Dahomey. The Amazons captured thousands, sold to the ports of Ouida in exchange for rifles, gunpowder, and prestige.
We require more gunpowder for this amount of captives.
This truth is uncomfortable, but it is history. The Amazons fought for their nation, but that nation profited from the chains of others. European observers were stunned by the Amazons. In 1851, Sir Richard Burton described them as the most bloodthirsty women in the world. Sense at royal ceremonies was theatrical and terrifying. Dressed in leopard skins or adorned with severed enemy parts, they executed prisoners as a rite of dominance. By the mid-1800s, the non-Mitan numbered nearly 6,000. More than battalion. They were a sisterhood of death. An entire generation of West African girls grew up knowing women could hold swords as well as men and bleed for their homeland. They were more than killers. They were disciplined, bonded, and proud. Yet the fire that lit their rise would soon draw the gaze of a different empire, While the Amazons marched through jungles, another power crept inland, France. Its appetite for territory, like Dahomey's thirst for glory, could not be satisfied. By the late 19th century, the world around Dahomey had changed. Europe was no longer just a trading partner. It was now a hungry empire, and Dahomey was in its way. France had already claimed large parts of West Africa. Now it turned toward Dahomey, strategically placed, rich in trade, and proud enough to resist. In 1889, King Behanzin inherited the throne, charismatic, defiant, and deeply loyal to his warriors. He refused French demands for submission.
We must consider the implications of this French envoy's letter carefully.
Their demands are an affront to Dahomey's sovereignty.
In 1890, the first shots were fired. France claimed control of the coastal port of Cotonou. Dahomey responded with blood. The Amazons fought with guerrilla tactics, striking at night, vanishing by dawn. They attacked supply lines, decimated camps, and left terror in their wake. The war ended in uneasy peace. France fortified its outposts. Dahomey regrouped, but neither side believed it was over. In 1892, the French returned with overwhelming force. Led by Colonel Alfred Dodds, a Senegalese French officer tasked with breaking Dahomey for good. Knowing the odds, the Amazons did not retreat. They sharpened their blades, raised their banners, and prepared to meet death with dignity. They struck with fury at Dogba, taking French soldiers by surprise. But this was a new kind of war. Bullets tore through machetes and firepower crushed valor. One French officer wrote, "They fought to the last, and even wounded, they crawled forward, clutching their knives."
By 1894, it was over.
King Behanzin was exiled. Dahomey fell under French control, and the legendary Amazons, once the terror of empires, were disbanded, scattered, or slain.
The Amazons did not die as legends. They died as women.
They died as women, warriors, protectors, daughters of the soil. And even in defeat, their spirit outlived the empire that crushed them. After France defeated Dahomey in 1894, the kingdom was annexed into colonial rule. The Amazons disbanded, disarmed, and scattered, faded from view, but not from memory.
They were strong, fearless, the protectors of our kingdom.
Their legacy lived on in songs and oral histories, in the defiant pride of those who remembered the women who once ruled the battlefield. In towns across modern Benin, the name Namaitan, our mothers, is spoken with reverence. Ceremonies reenact their battle cries. Daughters grow up hearing that their grandmothers were warriors. Even when textbooks ignored them, the people remembered. In the 20th and 21st centuries,
Amazons of Dahomey.
the world rediscovered the Amazons. Western media painted them as African Spartans, warrior women who shattered gender expectations. The Amazons became symbols of black power, of African feminism, of ancestral pride. But for their descendants, the story is not just inspiration, it is inheritance. From the women's resistance in Nigeria to anti-colonial struggles in Ghana to the rise of female soldiers across the continent, the spirit of the Amazons breathes still. They were known as the leopard queens, not just for their strength, but their elegant strategy and silent, stalking power, a force that never forgot how to wait and strike. They were not myths. They were not fantasies. They were real, and in the land where they once marched, their footsteps still echo. To remember the Amazons is not just honor the past. It is to reshape the future, to teach our daughters and our sons that power has always worn many faces.
Thanks for watching. Kindly smash the subscribe button. Also, like and on the notification button